Well, the Port of Seattle says Southwest is the only carrier with regularly scheduled 737 MAX service to or from Seattle. Alaska and Delta, the two largest carriers here, do not fly the MAX aircraft, though passengers flying through other U.S. cities may run into some problems. Here's how many 737 MAX 8 flights were in the air during the FAA announcement that the U.S. was grounding the aircraft type. None were heading to or from Seattle. Same for MAX 9 flights, just a handful crisscrossing the country. The FAA notice to pilots instructed them to proceed to their destinations. And across the country, the last of the MAX 8 and 9 flights touched down while airlines scrambled to find replacement aircraft. In Washington, D.C., a Southwest MAX 8 preparing to take off had to head back to the gate. The Port of Seattle says it's not expecting any disruptions at Sea-Tac. The port says the only airline that had regularly scheduled MAX flights here was Southwest, about 3 per day. And by the time the FAA grounded the aircraft, there were no more MAX flights heading to or from Seattle. Southwest says its 34 MAX 8 planes accounted for less than 5% of its daily flights nationwide. United flies 14 MAX 9s, none to Seattle, and the airline says it does not anticipate any significant impacts as it works to rebook passengers on other planes. American Airlines is in a similar situation. No MAX 8 flights to Seattle. The planes were flying just 85 flights out of 6,700 daily departures throughout the airline system. There are a handful of canceled flights here at SeaTac this evening, but those are related to a blizzard in Denver, not related to the 737 MAX situation. Southwest Airlines is allowing passengers impacted by the MAX cancellations or delays to rebook on different flights, and they'll waive the fees. Live at SeaTac Airport, Ted Land, King 5 News.